Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We only have special guests, and today we go to Mark Schall. We met in the ICF New York City chapter at the Coach Cafe. That's where we learn. That's where we connect. He has a very interesting background with music, acting, coaching, teaching. Mark, give us a little insight. Who are you and what are you doing these days?
Awesome. Well, thanks. It's really great to be here, Suzanne. I appreciate your having me on your podcast. And who knows what little wisdom nuggets we'll be able to share. My name is Mark Schall, and by profession and by life purpose, I am an executive coach and life coach. And my specialty is that I help entrepreneurs and other business leaders and executives overcome their fear of difficult conversations so that they can reduce turnover, increase engagement, and blow their business results out of the water in 6 months or less. So that's the work I do as a coach. I'm also a coach training instructor. I taught for 16 years at the coach training program that I graduated from. And since then have moved on to now I teach at the Elevated Coaching Academy based out in Utah, also an ICF-accredited program. We have a level 1 and level 2 accreditation. I get to travel to do that quite a bit, and which is really enjoyable. I've been a 30-year singing member of the New York City Gay Men's Chorus. We are in our 46th year. We started in 1970, so about 45th year, and I've been in it for 30 years. Proud singing member. It's a wonderful experience, and being in the chorus has just been a central part of my social life as well since the years I've lived in New York.
What a life. Sometimes seems like very glamorous.
Living the life. Keeps me busy.
Yeah, well, that's good. And also your clients, it seems like if they need to have difficult conversations. But how did everything start? Everything seems so seamless, if I might say that as an observer from the outside.
It's always interesting to hear that because it doesn't feel that way from the inside.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
I wanted to be a dentist when I was a kid. And then when it came time to apply to colleges and I started having to potentially declare a major, you didn't really have to declare one, but they ask you on the applications. I realized I don't want to be a dentist. The only reason I thought I wanted to be a dentist as a kid was I liked my dentist. He was cool and I thought he had a really cool office. So I wanted to be a dentist. I had no interest in dentistry. What I really thought I wanted to do was be a clinical psychologist, ultimately a therapist. I always found that world very fascinating. So I went to college, majored in psychology. I was one of the few people that never changed my major. I went in as a psych major, graduated in 4 years as a psych major. I then went to graduate school for my master's in counseling and student development, which was counseling focused on college students. I worked in higher ed for 10 years in housing and residence life, counseling and advising college students who lived on campus. I was a residence hall director, area coordinator, and that was really the beginnings of life coaching because really I was teaching students life skills. They're moving away from home for their first time to go away to school, and there's a lot of life skills they have to learn, and they don't learn that in the classroom. That's where the student affairs folks come in with all the other structured programs that happen outside of the classroom. 20% of a student's life is spent in the classroom. The other 80%, most of that is spent in the residence halls. It was really about structuring the environment to create a learning environment, a lot of counseling and coaching and whatnot. It was really the beginnings of life coaching for me. When I left that role, I went on to work for the Boston, New York AIDS Ride, which was a fundraising bike ride from Boston to New York. It took 3 days that raised millions of dollars for AIDS organizations that provided direct treatment and direct services to people with AIDS. And I had done the ride in its first year. back in 1995. And then I was invited to be on the staff the second year. So I did that. And that was also very much a coaching role because I was working with people that would sign up to do the ride, and I would help them set their fundraising goals and their training goals so that they would actually show up and do the ride instead of sign up to do it and then drop it and never show up.
Oh, that's possible that people just
Oh,
send the
yeah.
money and they don't do it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Oh.
not that they would even raise the money, but that they would sign up to do the ride and then just not follow through. So to prevent that, they
Mm.
basically had a coach to work with them. It's like, tell us, why are you doing the ride? What does it mean to you?
Mhm.
Usually it's in memory of somebody who died or somehow the cause was important to them. So to get them in touch with that and then set their fundraising goals and have them meet with you regularly so that they're on track. And that was really the beginning of coaching. It's a transformative experience. That's really what it comes down to. It's an experience of personal transformation. And then when you add to it the emotional level of the particular cause and what people's emotional investment is in that, it really connects people with something that they're really passionate about to actually get out of their heads and onto the street and make a difference. The ride is designed to be something that isn't for athletes and cyclists. It's for normal people that don't do that. That's all the people that did it. Very few are people that do those things. So it was a fully supported event. You didn't have to carry any of your gear or anything with you. We had motor vehicle support that did all of that. And if you ended up too tired to ride at any one point in the day, you could just wait on the side of the road. One of the support vehicles will pick you up, take you to camp. You could ride again the next day. I rode every mile, though. I pedaled every mile. I was not going to be used by a support and gear vehicle. We called them SAG, support and gear vehicles.
Yeah. You start something and you finish something. That's the attitude.
But it was nice to know that the support was there if I needed it. So the personal transformation that most of the riders experienced was really at the core of the ride's purpose, in addition, of course, to the actual fundraising. The thinking behind the ride's inventor was that is the very kind of bold thinking and stepping out and risk-taking that we're going to need to do if we're going to end AIDS. And his vision was that 5 years or 10 years to find a cure for AIDS. And while that hasn't happened, the strides that we have made now to keep it as it's a manageable illness for most people. Most people live a full, long life with an undetectable viral load. And now there's medications and treatments that prevent HIV infection, even if you get exposed to it. That's just been a game changer with PrEP medications and PEP medications and whatnot. It's really pretty amazing how that vision has been addressed.
Me as an athlete, I always felt like, wow, this is something almost on the bucket list.
What was always so wonderful, too, was like, we would ride through many small towns from Boston to New York. And all those towns, they knew that we were coming. So the people that were along the sides of the road with signs, with lemonade, with water, cheering us on, school kids that came out from their schools and lined up to cheer us on. We had one rock throwing incident, unfortunately. Yeah, some bigots and homophobes that as we were pulling into camp one night in maybe in Hartford, Connecticut, we were throwing rocks and bottles and stuff. And so they had to shut down the ride for a little bit and the cops had to get involved, and the cops were wonderful in addressing it and stuff like that. And then we just picked back up and went.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
It also spoke to one of the reasons why we're doing the ride and raising the awareness. It created a lot of awareness. And then there were sometimes people we ran into, if you stopped in a mini mart to get a bottle of water or something, people were like, who are all you guys? We've had cyclists riding in all day. And there's just bicycles everywhere in the parking lot. You tell people what we're doing, and some were so moved. Can I make a donation? We were picking up donations along the way. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful event.
Thank you for doing this. This is really something.
I'm actually writing a one-man show about it as well, about my experiences in the rides, in the ride. Yeah, because it was so life-changing for me. And so I've been working on it for 20 years. It keeps sitting in a folder, and then every now and then I take it out and I work on it more and whatnot. It'll go somewhere.
So maybe we just discovered a gold nugget today. This is a reminder for you to take it out, and we'll support you. You mentioned the singing, and obviously the work is one thing, but I'm always also interested in what do people do when they don't work. So it seems like the singing and the social aspect next to your work is also important to you. How did that evolve? And you said like it was part of your, or is part of your social.
Yeah, it dates back to kindergarten, actually, which I didn't realize until you just asked me that question. I remember when I was in kindergarten, we attended an assembly where my school's chorus, which was all 5th and 6th graders, was performing. This was like the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And the school I went to was named after Thomas Edison. So it was Edison School. The chorus was called the Singing Edisons. I remember sitting there watching them sing, and I thought they were like a professional group that was hired. I didn't understand yet that they were just fellow students. And when I learned that, no, they're students, I was like, I want to join. They go, well, you can't until you're in 5th grade. And of course, when you're in kindergarten, 5th grade is thousands of years away.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't wait. And of course, I got to 5th grade. The first thing I wanted to do was sign up to join the Singing Edisons. And I got in, and I auditioned, and I got in. And so I sung in the chorus 5th, 6th grade, and also through junior high school, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I was always in the school plays, which were musicals. I remember in the 9th grade chorus, we sang Bohemian Rhapsody. If you can imagine a 9th grade choral arrangement of Bohemian Rhapsody, and the song was only 2 years old, so it was still popular on the radio at the time. And there were 3 of us that auditioned for the solo, and I got the solo.
Bravo. Wow.
I was a late bloomer, so my voice hadn't changed yet. So I was able to hit those high notes from Mama. Oh, as I crack as I try to hit those now. But yeah, so that was fun. And so singing was always something that I really enjoyed doing. And then I was living in Baltimore, and a friend of mine said, oh, let's go see the Washington, D.C. gay and lesbian chorus perform. What's a gay and lesbian chorus? And I learned there was a whole bunch of these all over the world. When I moved to New York, I know they must have one. And so, of course, we do. They sing at Carnegie Hall. I got to do this. And so I've had solos at Carnegie Hall.
Oh my God, what a guest do we have here. A solo in Carnegie Hall. Wow.
Yeah. So that old joke, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? You practice, or you join the New York City Gay Men's Chorus. Or actually, I said it to my director once, and he corrected me. He goes, no, it's practice and join the New York City Gay Men's Chorus.
Oh, there's some nuances. Yeah.
We practice too. So now it's been a 30-year journey. I bridge the singing with coaching too. Mm-hmm. I actually created a role within the chorus, sort of an extracurricular role that's sort of if you will, it's a ministerial role. I'm the resource that if anybody's having any struggles or whatnot, and they need someone to talk to, we call it the Nightingale Brigade, named after Florence Nightingale. It started out before me specifically providing practical support to people in the chorus who were suffering back in the day when AIDS really was taking everybody. Now it's evolved. If somebody's in the hospital or they had surgery or they're sick, we make sure, the Nightingale Brigade makes sure that they're getting visitors, and we're getting cards sent from the chorus.
That's wonderful.
And stuff like that. Nice. A lot of quieter things that come my way that the chorus might not have a response to, but somebody's like, I just need someone to talk to. And we have a psychiatrist in the chorus who I partner with. We're basically the 2 chairs of that service within. That's kind of how I bring my coaching into the chorus.
And when you started to say you're doing kind of like coaching, I was like, oh, maybe somebody is afraid to sing, or I was thinking more of that. But then it's even like more practical. If somebody's in the hospital, you make sure they get a card. That's really wonderful. It's a support group. I used to be a running coach for the New York Roadrunners, and also the runners is like you create a community and you support each other in good times and bad times. Especially in New York, we need that, where the city can be so difficult, alienating, or you can be lonely, that you go to a group that resonates with you and that you find the support there.
Because you have a common interest. They're in singing or running. There's an LGBT running group called the Front Runners. I know a number of people that had the same experience there that I have in the chorus in terms of they're part of. It's not about the running is the vehicle. It's about the relationships. And it's the same thing with the chorus. There's the concerts that we do, which are utterly spectacular. They really are. People think they're coming and they're going to hear, we're all going to be standing there just singing choir music. No, you get a Broadway show when you come to see us. It's really superbly amazing experience. It's behind the scenes. It's the relationships and the connections that develop. And we have 4 generations that span the chorus. Our youngest member is probably 20 or 21, and our oldest one is probably in their 80s. So it's amazing when we talk about the history of the gay civil rights movement and of gay life and how that's evolved. And we live in 4 different worlds. The older generation remembers a time when politicians wouldn't even discuss the issue because it was like a political hot potato. And now we have same-sex marriage. And well, we're fighting to keep it now, but we have these folks were born into a world where that was
Did not
there.
exist.
It's really pretty interesting from a learning and growth perspective, the cross-generational interactions that result in such learning and growth, and how there's so much gay and lesbian history, LGBTQIA plus history that the younger set doesn't really know because they don't learn that in school. And they learn it through some of our songs and then some of our interactions and whatnot. And they're all like, how come I was never taught this stuff? That's a very good question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's history.
Right.
It is history, the 60s,
That's right.
70s, or even before. How was it in other centuries?
I remember during the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall uprising, I remember it was amazing how many people, gay folks pretty much knew about it, how many straight people, they had never heard of Stonewall. That put it on the map. Every straight person I know now knows what Stonewall was. Right?
And I go and visit.
Meanwhile, I knew what Stonewall was in 1990 is when I learned what Stonewall was. And I remember mentioning it to my mom once, and she goes, I remember hearing something about that happening. Because it happened in 1916. My parents, we lived in North Jersey. So it was probably local news. It's pretty, so there's all that other value that the chorus provides for its members and beyond. I would say about 10 to 20% of our audience is straight, and which is great because it's all the friends and loved ones of men, other people who just love good choral music and they know that we're good.
I just wanted to say, so you're not just like a group of like, let's get together and sing. It's like,
oh yeah, no, we've got an international reputation.
Traveled?
We've traveled. Oh, absolutely. There's every 4 years, there's a convention that happens. It's a gay and lesbian choral convention where we get 7,000 people that attend this and sing. Probably about 7,000 people from like 250 LGBT choruses from like 100 different countries. It was in Minneapolis last year. The next one in 3 years will be also in Minneapolis. It's been in Denver. It's been all over the place. Been in Montreal. And we've also traveled to Europe for different festivals as well and participating in those. We have an international reputation. We're one of the larger LGBT choruses in the world as well, with 250 members.
You have to do an audition to be part of the...
We're in New York. If we want an audience, we have to be really good because there's so much competing with us. We have Broadway and we have off-Broadway and off-Broadway and amazing choral groups and all kinds of other performance art going on. So we have to be good. Of auditioners is very, very highly talented because it's New York. So we're good.
You're top notch. Well, I'm so honored. Before we recorded, you also said you're adding something new, acting. Tell us a little bit about that.
More of a resurrecting than an adding. I was on stage as a kid and I loved performing and I loved being in the school plays and the school musicals and all that kind of stuff. I've done some community theater after college, but the last theater acting thing I did was probably in 1990. And I haven't done it. I've always thought of it, but just haven't done it. And now I had the opportunity. So through the New York Theater Festival, I'm in a 20-minute one-act play. I have the starring role. Yeah, it was written by a neighbor of mine. And he told me as he was writing it, he kept thinking of me. He's like, this is so you. Do you want to be in this? He goes, I could so see you doing it really well. It's really terrific. And the other two actors are amazing. And they're professional trained actors, which I'm not. My talent is kind of
raw
and natural. As the director said, I've got good instincts. I'm directable. And that's what it takes. I'm a little intimidated by my two co-stars who are just amazing and so much fun to work with. Extraordinarily proud of it.
Congratulations. What do you do when you don't work, you don't sing? Is there anything else that you add to your busy life?
Yeah, hang out with friends. My friends are really important to me. Just spending time with friends, whether it's doing new and exciting things or just hanging out in someone's apartment for dinner, going out for dinner. I really enjoy that. And the chorus also does a lot of social events within the chorus and as fundraisers outside. So being involved in those, whether it's a movie night or a picnic in the park or stuff like that, I just love getting out in the city, being out there as long as it's not too hot and humid or too cold. We have 2 weeks of ideal temperatures here in the city out of the year.
End of May and end of September. Thank you so much, Mark. It was a joy to connect with you, first of all, in the Coach Cafe, but then also getting to know you a little more and what you add into your rich life, and it doesn't end. So we're eager to get your play out.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, what a fun conversation. Singing, acting, coaching, teaching. What else? What else can you add? Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday. Come and join us, learn with others, learn from others, travel with them, sing with them. And also Take It from the Ironwoman is the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. And also like this podcast on the platform that you are listening to this episode to. Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.